Hey, well, good afternoon. Welcome to the Old Geezer's Diary. I'm Chris, and this is the first of a new series of live videos I'm going to start doing because I'm fed up with stuff and I want to have a little go about it, really, I guess. And I think that there are lots of people out there in the world who feel kind of the same way. One of the things that quite often gets said about older people is that we're invisible. Now, that's especially true for ladies because ladies tell me that every day. Really, we become invisible as we get older. It applies to men as well as women, but in my case, because I'm a bit loud and noisy, I guess I get a bit better. Is reception the word? I don't know, but I get noticed a bit more because I do a lot of noisy stuff. And one of the things that I want to talk about today as an older person is voting and how we vote. But before I do that, I'm just going to fill in the gaps in this program, if you like. We call it a program, for want of a better word. Um, and the way I'm planning to do these shows is to do them as 2 or 3 times a week, maybe more, little live clips. We'll talk about a topic. You can join in. You are hugely welcome to join in. If you have something to say, for goodness sake, say so. Don't for 1 minute be reticent. If you think I'm talking out of the back of my head, you can say that, and I guarantee you will show that comment if you make it in text on Facebook or YouTube. And in addition, if you want to come on the show, even during the show, then we can add you in as long as you've got something like a smartphone or a tablet or a laptop or a PC, anything with a camera and a microphone. You can join in the show as we go. Pardon me, as we go live. We do it by technical magic, obviously, but it's very simple from your point of view. All you have to do is send me a message. I want to say some live things about that. You can send messages to me before shows, during shows, or after shows. And at some point, I'll include you in the show and you can have your moment in the spotlight, whether you've got a spotlight or not. Okay, so that's point one. Your content is more important than mine in many ways because I'm only going to introduce topics that bug me, and I'm going to hope that they bug you too. Okay, the other thing that I'm going to do is include some oddments and things that interest me. I like food, I like getting value for money, I like doing stuff. And so I'm going to include little clips of some of those things in the show, and you can determine whether you like them or not. Now, at the moment, according to my wonderful system, I have one viewer. Is that you? Tell me who you are. Send me a little message, or send me a text, rather, should I say? And do a comment on YouTube or on Facebook. Do what you like, really. And if you're watching, let me know because then it gives me a little bit of feedback. I think the design, by the way, while I look at my own screen, I think the design is awful. I like the yellow bit, and I don't mind the yellow background, but I'd like to do something a bit better with it. Um, So it kind of gives you more information. I think I'll try and work out a better way of doing things, and or a better appearance for things, and try and make it look a bit better. I'm rubbish at design. Okay, so that person has been very. Oh, it's Marianne. There we go. So we can say hello, young Marianne. Nice to see you out there. And let's just get. Why is my system not doing what I want it to do? I don't know. It's obviously not doing what I want it to do, is it? Why aren't you working, machine? There. Well, excuse me, I am a Nelly, aren't I? But there you go. So let's just get back to where we were. Oh my goodness. There we go. Marion, let me just pick you up and say, hey, Marion, there you are. I do apologise, Marion, for that. That was one of those wonderful things that occasionally goes wrong with my programmes. But when you're doing something new, and you do much like, no, I hate it, actually. I'm going to get rid of it, let me tell you. I like the yellow bit around the edge. That was the intention. But the actual intention is to, let me see if I can do this while we're actually talking. Let's just see if I can. And we'll go from that to something more, my living room or something, you know. Look at that, there's my living room. So we can say, there you go. Better, isn't it? How's that? Does that look better, Marion? I have to ask. So you can tell me, you can say, yes, it does. We can say, no, it doesn't. But I like that better, but I'd like something that's a bit kind of, you know, realer is the word that I'm looking for, I guess. That's just, yeah, there you go. You don't much like the yellow background. Neither do I. That is better, isn't it? It's all, as you realise, Marion, I think it's all technological rubbish. And the reality is I'm working in front of a green screen. Oh, I've just seen something wrong with my picture. There we go. And that's better. And so there you go, Marion. It's just because I've got a green screen and some technology that lets me use it. And there you go. But what do you think of it so far? Because I think the fact about being old is an issue for all of us. But on the other hand, there are many parts of life in which older people can have an influence, in which we can actually wave a flag and do a shout and say, what about it? Why can't we get X, Y, and Z? And so what I'm going to be talking about in these shows is matters that bug me. I'm going to be doing some things like cookery and bits and bobs that I like. I'm going to do some serious talking about things like scams that affect older people and can damage our lives. And there you go. I'm also going to be inviting you to talk, as I said before, come on the show, have a chat, see what you think, see what you make of what we're talking about, and see where we go from there. Today's topic, well, I think we all actually have been noticing what rubbish our politicians are. Let me have a slurp. I never thought about the mug. It's got green text on it. Okay, no, it's true. And I think that one of the things we want to get is to kind of get in front of people more, Marion. And I'd like to try and act, if you like, as something of a channel to achieve that. I don't know how we will manage, how well we will manage to do that, but we'll give it a go, because I'm just noisy, I think. So I quite like the idea of talking to people and getting them going, getting people to actually say more stuff themselves. What I want to talk about briefly today, though, the thing that's been bugging me for ages and ages is the amount of rubbish that our politicians are doing. At the moment, we've got Liz Truss. I have no doubt she's a pleasant woman, but in reality, yeah, no. But I think they're probably visible, but there's no one there. It's you and me. There you go, Marion. But the thing that does get me at the moment with politicians is that they seem to be rubbish at everything they do. Now, I have a bit of history to talk about here, if you like. Years ago, I was a big fan of Boris Johnson, going back probably 12, 14, 15 years even, maybe that long ago. I had the good fortune to interview young Boris about a local project that was going on, and I went up to London with a group of people who were working on that project. It was a Bartlett for you, Marion, and I was lucky enough to interview Boris. He was really supportive, he was kind, he was helpful, he was important, and he knew it, but he nonetheless talked to us without talking down and talked about the problem that we had and tried to explain how difficult it was to get that put right. Anyway, on we went, and watched Boris because we thought we were quite keen, really. We were quite enthused about him. And then we got up to Brexit, and he started telling enormous lies kind of all the time. And I got wound up about that, I must say, because I just find that kind of thing unnecessary. And then we watched Boris's progress and became more and more disenchanted with him up until the time he left. Thank God he left, from my point of view. Anyway, we've now got Liz Truss, and Liz Truss and Kwasi Kwarteng. Right, there you go. I liked him and have a yeah, that was good for his comic talents, wasn't it, really? Because he's a prat and he was funny, you know. But no, at breakfast or Brexit, he became a big player, really, didn't he? You have to admit that. He became a big player, and he became not a nuisance, but he started to get to people, and he certainly got to me. Anyway, there you go. We're now on Liz Truss and Kwasi, whatever his name is, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, and they look as if they're making a complete pig's ear of Britain. We're talking about cutting services. We're talking about reducing tax. Oh, let's reduce tax. Do you know what? The country in Europe that is the happiest, allegedly, is Denmark. In Denmark, they have the highest rate of income tax, direct and indirect, anywhere in Europe. But they have wonderful services. They have terrific services. They have a wonderful health service. They have terrific pensions. So you don't really have to worry in your life. There was a point in Denmark, I think, where people had to have 2 jobs to survive. But I think they're now doing really well, and I'll do some background on that. And we have to ask, as older people, what do we want? Do we want a country in which taxes are low? Well, it doesn't matter to most of us because we mostly don't pay a lot of tax. Do we want a country where services like the National Health Service, like benefits, like welfare, are binned, are cut, are sliced out? I don't think we do. And I think that we need to vote for another party. I don't actually care which party. I would like us to vote Labour. I'd like us to vote for the Greens. Why not? Lib Dems, they're a bit kind of wishy-washy, aren't they? But I think, sincerely and truly, I think we ought to think about getting rid of this half-witted government. Sorry. And get a government that actually takes notice of the people and wants to make our world better. They don't have to be the greatest, cleverest people in the world. What they have to be is people with a good heart. And I don't think the Tory party now has anything like a good heart. What it's got is it's devoted to getting re-elected, and it thinks the way to get re-elected is to scream, "We cut your taxes." The fact is that they then, when they're re-elected and cut our taxes, they then have to say, well, we're cutting your services to pay for it. And more people are going to, be ill and not get better and stuff like that. Where do you go with it? What do you do with it? I would say, let's tell our government that we're going to vote for somebody else. Now, that's what I really want to say. This is the Old Geezer's Diary. My name's Chris. I am officially the Old Geezer. I have to get a mug that is not printed with that slogan, or you can just about read it. Yeah, you can, can't you? Chris, the official Old Geezer. But it's not a see-through mug. That's because it's a bit of green on this mug and it's filled with tea. There we go. So, Marion, where are you coming from now? I'd like to have better services across the board, but I'm not sure that we have any party who would do it yet. I think you're very right. I think some of them, I think the Labour Party possibly, and I think the Green Party possibly will try and do more. I don't know how much we can rely on Labour, but what I wanted to kind of suggest is that we should vote for the best option we can get. If we think the Greens are going to stand a chance of winning in our area, if they're loud enough and there are enough of them, maybe that would be a good vote. If the Labour Party, which might go part way, is good enough or strong enough in our area, maybe we should vote for them. Even the Lib Dems, if they're strong enough in our area, we should vote for them. What we shouldn't do, I honestly believe what we should not do, is vote for the bloody Tories. That's my honest belief. Marion, let me say at this point a huge thank you for joining me on the show. You're hugely welcome. I'm hugely pleased to see you. And I appreciate you taking the time and trouble to watch and to make your comments. I'm really pleased to hear from you. I'm going to go away and remake my cup of tea now because it's got cold. And I'm going to say to you, thank you for watching. And anybody who comes in and watches later, thank you for watching as well, because what I'm trying to do is build up a little place where older people can have a proper conversation about what's going on in the world. If you want to take part, if you have an opinion to express, if you want to appear in video or in just sound, you can. And all you have to do is get in touch through the Old Geezers Diary Facebook page or through the Old Geezers Diary YouTube page. Get in touch with me. I would love to hear from you. Okay, that's the end of today's little show. I'm Chris, I'm the Old Geezer, and I thank you sincerely for having watched this show. Okay, I have to find my way out of my navigation system and say thank you so much for watching.